What's happening, folks? I'm down here in Manchester for the Derek CHISORA last dance against Otto Wallin. The weigh-in is in a couple of hours, so I thought I'd jump on and make a quick video and just talk about what's happened this week with myself here in Manchester. Obviously, the Derek CHISORA Otto Wallin fight, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about Eddie Hearn's press conference, but it wasn't a press conference, like a round table with Jack Catterall and Arnold Barboza. It was a unique setup, a great format. I enjoyed it. The dim light, the dramatic feel when they got the two fighters across from each other. I know we've done it on TV, but this was in front of an audience, fans and other fighters and media and whatnot. So it was definitely a good format, and it works because the two fighters were going at each other. Little jibes here and there, and it was fun to watch. And it sets it up. It gets the juices flowing for the fight. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm ready for Jack Catterall and Arnold Barboza because of what has been said. I know you can see tweets, what they're saying on Twitter and whatnot, but when it's like they're right there facing off with each other across the table, it's got that dramatic feel to it, and it gets your blood flowing for this fight. And I cannot wait for next week. So I'll talk about that. I also want to talk about Eddie Hearn. I asked Eddie Hearn a question yesterday, reference Conor BENN not yet applying for his British Boxing Board of Control licence. And I'll embed what he said here.
Conor BENN will have the choice to apply for a licence or to box under his current position, which is an American licensed fighter with permission to box in the UK, which a lot of fighters do. Tyson Fury, probably the most famous of those people. I would always prefer any fighter to have a British Boxing Board of Control licence, but there's quite a lot of history and there's quite a lot of, I'd say bad blood, but you know, we'll see what happens. But the fight, absolutely British Boxing Board of Control. There's plenty of others, not just Tyson Fury, that don't have British Boxing Board of Control licences. For me personally, if you're fighting in the UK and you're a British fighter, I think you should have a British Boxing Board of Control licence, but that's also subject to the relationship, which I understand as well.
And as you can see, you can almost understand where Eddie Hearn's coming from. Conor BENN's relationship with the British Boxing Board of Control is fractured. Whether he wants to go down that route and give the board these licensing fees and whatnot, it's up to Conor. He can box in the UK, and I think this fight against Chris Eubank Jr. in April will be on his American licence with permission to fight in the UK by the British Boxing Board of Control. Tyson Fury's done it. Tyson Fury didn't have a British Boxing Board of Control licence because he fell out with the British Boxing Board of Control. So there is ways to fight in the UK. Maybe still pay, I don't know if the board takes sanctioning fees. I'm not too clued up on that when they fight. But I kind of agree with Eddie as well. Every British fighter should have a British Boxing Board of Control licence. But you can understand that if the relationship with the board is broken and fractured, then you can understand fighters why they don't want to apply for that and deal with the British Boxing Board of Control. So, yeah, it's a tough one, man, because whether you believe Conor or not, he has been cleared to fight after the 2 long years. Eddie Hearn has mentioned that he can't talk about it, he can't release anything because of the confidentiality. Whether we'll find out in due course, I think we will. I think we'll probably wait a few years more, maybe until Conor retires, until Conor releases whatnot. He might even release it after the Chris Eubank Jr. fight. I don't know. I've been around Conor, and I consider Conor's a great stand-up guy, and off camera he's brilliant. So my opinion of Conor is a standout human being. So I'm not going to give my opinion on whether he's guilty or not, because maybe that's another video I can do in later course. But Conor's going to be fighting Chris Eubank Jr. and I think that he should go for the British Boxing Board of Control licence. He should go down that route, but it's up to Conor. Conor has got a fractured relationship with the British Boxing Board of Control with everything that's gone on in the last 2 years. So, you know what? We're getting a Chris Eubank Jr. fight, and it's a fight that I'm looking forward to. And I've spoken about this on numerous occasions. It's because it's a nostalgic feeling for me, because I watched their dads with my dad fighting each other on ITV back in the day when I was a young boy, and now I'm around their sons and they're getting it on. So it's almost like, what the heck has happened here? Like, it's gone, it's crazy on a personal level. But I hope Conor BENN comes out. Conor BENN is innocent, and he proves it, and he shows everyone and he lets everyone know, and he applies for that British Boxing Board of Control licence. Now, Derek Chisora, let's talk about Big Del Boy. He's fighting Otto Wallin. Del Boy has been on form this week. He's been hilarious. He came to the press conference yesterday with a cowboy hat on, playing country western music with a reform banner around the cowboy hat. He's been telling jokes. He's been funny. He's been laughing with the media. He's been joking with the fans. He's on it. Do you know what I mean? And I think this Otto Wallin fight, I hope listen, it's hard because everything is about Derek this week, and Otto Wallin's just nothing. Nobody's really. He's like a side. He's over there somewhere. He's not really. People have forgotten about it. It's all about Derek. It's a Derek Chisora show. So this is a dangerous fight for Derek. It's a fight that he can win because he's shown that how gutsy and strong he is. And does Otto Wallin have the stamina to withstand the onslaught that Derek Chisora will bring? I mean, Derek Chisora's got that overhand right, which works perfectly against a southpaw. You know what? So I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait. Big Del Boy is back for his last fight here in the UK. So yeah, I'm excited because look what Derek's done for British boxing. He's done fantastic for British boxing, and you know what? I'm going to miss him. Because if you remember the table flips, the stuff with David Hay, kissing his opponents in the ring, he's just been absolutely fantastic for British boxing. He might not have been the world champion, and he's got 13 losses on his record or whatnot, but he's entertainment, and sometimes boxing's a business, it's show business, and he brings that in abundance. So it's going to be sad when he does go, but I'd imagine Derek will be sticking around. I'm imagining Derek will still be in the boxing scene somehow, some way. And this fight against Otto Wallin will be a great fight, and a great fight to bow out for his UK fans, to give his UK fans that one last dance, as it's called. What else was I going to talk about? Yeah, Jack Catterall, Conor Barboza. A great fight that's happening here in Manchester next Saturday. Jack has been consistent. He's been getting the fights. 4 years ago, whatever it may be, he wasn't fighting regular. He wasn't getting his opportunity. It just seems like now, with patience and sticking at it, staying in the gym. To be fair to Jack, his career's been stop, and you can almost forgive a fighter to maybe thinking, I'm going to chuck it. But Jack stayed in the gym. He stayed on it. He always knew he was going to get the big fights. He knew he was going to be there. And now look at the run of form he's on. He's up against Arnold Barboza, an undefeated fighter. And like I said to you at the beginning of this, that round table was fantastic by Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, what they did. I think that was a great setup, great thing. And you got the two fighters jawing at each other, taking little snide comments with each other. And like I said, it gets the juices flowing for the fight. And I cannot wait for this one. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. It's going to be a fantastic fight. And the winner of this fight could be elevated to WBO. It depends what Teofimo Lopez is doing, because he has to face the winner of this one. If he gets stripped and moves up, then the winner of this fight becomes the WBO super lightweight champion, which is all Jack's wanted. Arnold Barboza's, that's all he's wanted. So it's going to be a great fight. It's a fantastic fight. In that 140-pound division with guys like Richardson Hitchens, you've got Liam Paro, you know what I mean? You've got some great fighters in there as well. I think Kambosos is going to be 140 now as well. So it's a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. Jack deserves it. I mean, and you've seen a different side to Jack at that face-off as well. That round table was, he never really makes predictions saying he's going to knock somebody out, but he's very, very confident that he's going to knock Arnold Barboza out, and he called him a B-level fighter. He's a good fighter, he's just not a great fighter. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be a good fight. I think if you look at the southpaw, that Sean McComb against Arnold Barboza, you're probably thinking Jack Catterall's probably a little bit higher up in level at Sean McComb at this moment in time. So you're going to think that maybe Jack being a southpaw, he's got Arnold Barboza's number here. I don't know. Maybe Arnold Barboza just wasn't up for the shoot. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's different variables. But Sean McComb, I believe, won that fight against Arnold Barboza. And it's a shame that he hasn't really pushed on Sean McComb from this, to be honest. So you're probably looking at that fight with Arnold Barboza and thinking Jack Catterall's a southpaw. Right now he's above Sean McComb, so you're probably thinking Catterall's a favourite. But never underestimate Arnold Barboza. He's tough, he's rugged, he knows how to box, so it's going to be a fantastic fight. A fight that Jack Carroll deserves, and if he becomes world champion, he does deserve it. So you can't really begrudge Jack becoming world champion and getting elevated to a world champion, because, do you know what I mean? He's put in the work. He's put in the work. So, yeah, it's a busy. I will be at the Arnold Barboza Jack Carroll fight next week. I'm looking forward to it. But as I always do, I leave a pinned comment to ask you a question. I ask you a question in a pinned comment. I want you to comment and get back to me, engage with me. The comment is: do you think that Conor Benn should apply for his British Boxing Border Control license? Let me know.